Okay, hello YouTube. Today I'm going to analyze one of my wins. This was a game I just thought was kind of funny. It's a game I actually played so well that my opponent accused me of being a cheater. So I thought it was pretty hilarious. He said, LOL cheater, 98% accuracy in a Sicilian. Anyways, I had a discussion with him afterwards, and I actually pointed him to my YouTube channel to show him that I'd actually analyzed the positions that we had in the game pretty in depth in one of my videos. And I've actually memorized almost everything in our game. I almost never left prep, so I guess this was just something that was really strange to him. But anyways, I'm just going to share that game. It was kind of crazy. So e4 c5, knight f3. If you look down here, if you look at my me as white, I've played this a bunch, and I have a really high winning percentage in this line. Like once we get to my kind of pet line here, like this bishop g5 and then knight on 1 to c3, which it gives us a question mark. So immediately, like he's accusing me of cheating, but I'm negative 1.5. So so this is my we're getting into my pet line here. And actually this isn't really the best move order for this particular pet line. Really you're supposed to wait for h6 and then bring the bishop straight from c1 to g5. So it works more as an anti-Kalishnikov against the Lowenthal a little bit better. Against the Taimanov, e takes f4 is supposed to be pretty good here, and that's actually a hard line. Like I'm not really sure if that's like slight edge white. Although I do score good against both moves. I got 65% against df4 and 49. It looks like 70% against a6. So against a6 though, bishop g5, and you can see my win percentages are really high here, just because my preparation is really high. Especially when people play this move f6. Which forces the win of material. So they're attacking my bishop and they're attacking my knight. But in exchange for that, I get an attack that's actually very difficult to meet. I play knight d5, takes on b5, and then bishop e3. So here, white's creating all kinds of interesting threats, threatening bishop b6 and knight c7. And it's not so easy to meet all of these threats. So my opponent actually played the best line, which I was kind of shocked by. Like, according to my preparation, rook a4 is the best. Although maybe it's not too crazy, because rook a4 is considered like the best move in positions that are similar to this one. There used to be a very popular sacrifice in the last Pelican, and one of the defensive ideas was rook a4, just trying to get counterplay against this pawn on e4, but also getting the rook out of the line of fire of the immediate threat of bishop b6 and knight c7. What's interesting is just about every other move here for black leads to advantage white, and in some cases a very large advantage for white. So it's actually very difficult just to find this move. So he found this move, and then I played the best move according to the engine. I played b4, and then he played rook takes b4, which again was the best move. So kudos to that, but we're still in my preparation. I play knight b4, knight takes b4, bishop to b5 check, and then he retreats his knight c6, which again is given as the best according to the computer. And here it's saying that this is very slight edge black. And at this point, I am out of my book at this point, but I remembered that the plan was to simply castle and basically just throw this pawn down the board. That's all I remembered about the position. My plan was to castle and then relatively as quickly as possible play a4, a5, a6, possibly spending time to throw in c3 if I needed to keep something out of possibly c3, possibly queen e2, possibly rook fb1, but for the most part just basically trying to play a4, a5, a6 kind of as quickly as possible to put pressure on this knight. That's really what I remembered about the position, was just this strategy. So I castle. He plays bishop e6, so I just follow through, a4. And if I didn't see a problem with playing a4, a5, a6, I was going to play a4, a5, a6, because that's basically what I remembered about the position. Now, interestingly enough, bishop e6 was apparently a huge error. I castle, and then bishop e6, and the position is already +1. So it's really dangerous to not kind of get your pieces. You have to somehow, and this is the reason why this position is deceptively kind of good for white, is if you don't activate your king side quickly and get your king out of the middle and out of this pin, this idea of playing a4, a5, a6 is basically decisive. Because then this knight is hanging and you don't have a way to hold together your queen side and your king can't evacuate. So the fact that you can't activate your king side naturally is a much bigger advantage than it looks like on the surface. And our instincts as players is to develop the pieces that are easy to develop and then figure out how to develop the pieces that are hard, because that's the way the majority of openings actually work. This position is some kind of exception, because here, if you don't activate your kingside, even if it's awkward, if you don't activate your kingside immediately, you're pretty much dead. So that's what a lot of people miss when they play this, and that's why my opponent thought that I was cheating. My opponent's rating was like 2543, by the way. When I started this game, I was rated like 2426, if you were curious about the ratings. I don't have his handle up, so I'm not going to... Oh, it's right over here. So so that's his handle right there. That was who I played this against. That was the game, and he said he thought I was cheating, but afterwards he didn't think I was cheating. So we talked about it. I talked about the positions. I gave a lot of analysis. So anyways, and I don't think I ever got in. I don't think the algorithm has ever picked me up as a cheater. Certainly not for this game. The opening moves were just too strange. So anyway, so A4, 97, and then A5. Again, nothing in the way of me following through with this plan. So now G6, he's now trying to fix his problem on the king side, but it's a move too late, and this is the problem. Once you play A6, it's pretty much game over, and you can see like the computer is giving like plus 3.4. The point is I'm attacking this, and this pin is still a problem, so it's very difficult to do anything at all. So B takes A6, Rook takes A6, I'm already threatening to win a piece. Queen has to defend somehow, either Queen C6 or Queen C8 or Queen C7, but then of course the problem here is more stuff hangs. So Queen D6, and again I'm threatening Rook C6, I'm threatening Bishop C6, it's just easy wins of material. Bishop T7, I just grab another pawn, and all the threats are still on the board. Rook to G8. Bishop to C4, threatening the rook, and threatening something going to F7, like Bishop F7 or Queen F7, followed by Bishop to B6, which will be winning. So now I'm threatening two different mates, and I'm just threatening Bishop takes Rook. So there really is no defense. He tried Bishop G7, but of course this leads to a forced checkmate, and it's not a forced checkmate that's difficult to see. So I was easily able to find Queen F7, King B8, Bishop B6, and then he just resigns. You have to block with the queen. Now, it's interesting, if he did block with the queen, I probably wouldn't have found the forced checkmate sequence. I probably just would have ripped the queen and then played chess from there. There is apparently some weird line that leads to a forced mate in 4 more moves after Queen C7. I wouldn't have found it. I just would have found, I think after Queen C7, like the engine gives... Yeah, Rook A8 check, probably wouldn't have played it. Almost guaranteed. I would have just taken the queen. I would have played Bishop takes Queen, King takes C7, and I would have been very happy with my plus 15. And I just would have gone on to win. But apparently Rook A8 eventually leads to a forced mate. But anyways, that was the game I played where my opponent accused me of cheating. Like I said, I knew the opening theory, and then I just knew the plan was to play A4, A5, A6 if they didn't do anything. And my opponent just kind of walked face first into it, because I do know from experience that if they develop their queenside, if they spend one move to develop their queenside without trying to solve their kingside problem, they cannot solve their kingside problems quick enough to prevent A4, A5, A6 from winning. So that was all I knew about the position. I didn't know all the exact moves, but I knew that much, and that allowed me to play a game where I apparently had a 98% accuracy. So anyway, so understanding the plans is more important than necessarily understanding all the specific moves, but it's also important to understand the specific moves in specific circumstances. So anyways, I hope you found that video helpful. I hope you learned something new about chess, and I hope you can use these ideas to win some games of your own. Thank you very much for watching.